This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 10/27/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander, and I'll include links in the description if you want to look at the list or subscribe to it. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the sub 10 and the decliners or fallers this week. So one thing to note is Yokohama looks like it's peaked. It's been kind of moving up and down, but it's probably not going to substantially change from this point. It is on Board Game Arena, which I think plays amazingly well, and it's a really, really solid game. Underwater Cities looks like it's likely peaked as well. I guess I haven't heard if there's gonna be another expansion for it. I thought the game was good. I just thought I would rather play maybe some of his other games. I like Pulsar a little bit better than Underwater Cities, honestly. Who the card game, in case you're interested. And then Pandemic Legacy Season 2. So this one's fallen from 35 to 38 already in the last 2 or 3 months. So I don't see Pandemic Legacy Season 2 climbing any further. I think it's going to slowly decline from here on out. And actually, the average is dropping and the Bayesian average. I think just Season 0 and 1 are likely better games. I actually haven't played this game, but I think it's maybe not as fun of a game as the other ones. I may do a review for Season 0. We're almost done with the whole campaign, and spoiler, it's really solid. I think even my friends, or one of my friends, didn't enjoy Season 0 as much as some others. I think Season 1 really rectified that. I think the gameplay is much better. I feel like the progression is there compared to Season 0. Its progression is much better than Season 1. And I actually really enjoyed the decorating of the passports and all the cool stuff to go with that. I just think there's a lot of really good mechanisms in here. And I think other legacy games should really take a hard look at how Season 0 was done and maybe improve on it. I'd love to see other games that take this formula and make some improvements and maybe make a heavier weight game out of it. Seventh Continent. So this one's falling drastically. I just think the initial excitement's kind of worn off. I know the second Kickstarter was not as successful, or the Seventh Citadel Kickstarter was not as successful as Seventh Continent. I backed it because I do hope to one day actually play through it. I think it's got some unique things in it, but I do think that maybe some of the rules need some refinement or some way to kind of restart in the middle. Because I know it's a survival game, but man, playing through from the start can be, I don't know, like any survival game. If you have to restart from scratch, it's kind of painful. So let's look at the sub 10 ones real quick. Role Player Adventures. So this one I'm excited about. I assume it's going to hit retail at some point, and it's looking really solid out of the gate. Great Western Trail 2nd Edition. So this one's going to get its own spot on the list, which is interesting because I don't think the gameplay changed much, but here it is. And I'm actually more interested in seeing the other Great Western Trails, like the New Zealand and the Argentina one coming out. I'm interested to see how those play, maybe some new mechanisms or some new twists on this. Anyway, this one's going to do well. It's destined for greatness, I guess. I do wonder if it will surpass the original, because it's the original. One thing with second editions is it's filtered out all the people that didn't like the game. So sometimes the second edition comes along and really blasts up the list fast. Unfathomable is doing really well as expected. I think this one will likely hit the top 100 at some point. And horror we've been watching, it's kind of hovering sub 8, which might keep it out. It likely is going to keep it out of the top 100, but I think it will do well. I think it's a good looking game, and I think there's a lot of people that had their eyes on this one. The Great Wall we've been watching, this one is probably going to hit the top 100 at some point, assuming there's enough copies or maybe a reprint. Awakened Realms have sometimes done reprints with like an expansion or something. This might, be the case with the Great Wall. Hard to say. And Golem, it's kind of got a slow start. This is a game I've been wanting. I kind of had it on my radar for a while. Doesn't look like it's gonna do amazingly well, which means I'm probably not gonna get a chance to play it at some point, just with how many games I have backlogged. So number 10 is Dinosaur World. So we talked about this one a few weeks. I think it's not getting as strong a reception as Dinosaur Island did. Maybe the dinosaur theme is a little bit less new. The artistic design is a little bit less exciting. And I do think that, kind of its core mechanism, rolling the dice and having a kind of a selection of those dice, coupled with worker placement, maybe isn't as exciting anymore. I do think it's going to do well, but this might stay out of the top 100 unless it starts picking up some more 8s. Number 9, Canopy. So this is an interesting game. So this one was a Kickstarter, if I remember right. Yeah. And this one was a pretty good-looking Kickstarter. Vincent Dutray. Oh, I didn't realize Tim Eisner did this one. So this is a card drafting set collection game, which a lot of new games have been featuring wildlife and animals. Again, this one is no different with some, I think, good artwork. The Vincent Dutray artwork on this, I think, really works well. I don't know too much about the game other than what it said there. Where do I think it's going to land? It's a lighter weight game. It's probably not going to hit the top 100. We'll be honest there. It does look like it's probably a solid game, but we'll need to get some more ratings behind us to know. So that's number 9, Canopy. Number 8, King Domino Origins. So this one's gotten some positive reviews. This is essentially a re-implementation of King Domino with a prehistoric theme, I guess. And from what I saw, the prehistoric theme kind of breathes new life into King Domino. It's got things to put on, I guess. And I guess it's a little bit more. I think the artwork is a little bit better too in this one. So maybe they weren't expecting King Domino to be as big of a hit as it was. That's a cool booth. Anyway, it's probably going to do well. It's probably not going to hit the top 100 because King Domino has already been done. I mean, it's already a great game, but it will probably sell a lot of copies and maybe bring some new people into the hobby. So King Domino Origins, number 8. Number 7, Bad Company. Is this about like bad maps? I don't know. Bad Company. Build your own gang, complete heists, and escape the police. So this is with a cartoon theme. I guess that's kind of better to keep a cartoonish theme for something like this instead of serious. I guess medium lightweight. Let's see what this looks like. So it's got the racing game. Let's see. So we have which mechanism? Contracts, dice rolling, re-rolling and locking, set collection, solo game. Interesting. Each player has a board with 11 gang members. You may upgrade them by placing overlapping cards on them. Okay. I don't know. I mean, the artwork doesn't look bad. I would say it doesn't look great. It kind of looks, I don't know, maybe like food game. This mat looks kind of more foodish. This one kind of looks like a kids racing game. I don't know how that really. I mean, I guess the cartoonish style probably works with a kind of a more serious theme, like you're trying to escape the police. Initial ratings are mixed on this one, so we'll wait a couple weeks and see. But it is starting off a little bit low to end up in the top 100. So that's Bad Company. Number 6 is Messina 1347, which, if there's a year after your board game, it's serious. So this is a weight of 3.59. And Vladimir Sukis, who loves putting dates after board game names. I don't know. It's again by Delicious Games, same as Underwater Cities. So I guess he's been publishing with them recently. I don't know. This artwork is really hard to view. It reminds me of what was his last game with the whatever, the one with the bridges and stuff. It just looks too busy, I feel like, and a little bit uncohesive for graphics design. But really where you're looking for is gameplay. I mean, there's a number of games that look, okay to bad and still are good games. It is a little bit shorter than a lot of his games as well, which is kind of good. So it's starting off pretty strong, but this is again Vladimir Suki. I think we need to wait and see how it lands, but it could go up from here. It would be good, if it does. I would be very interested in trying this game since I like some of his other games. So it's Messina 1347, number 6. Number 5 is Bitoku. So we looked at this one last week. So this is kind of the latest heavy Euro game. The ratings here have swung back and forth between, pretty low to high to somewhere in between. I think it's probably going to land. I don't know. My gut feeling is it's probably going to land outside the top 100 or maybe barely in it if it does get in there. The reason for that is I think there's a lot of mechanisms going on. I'm not sure that all these mechanisms together are going to entice the heavy gamer that's playing this game. I think Tom Vassell had a review of it. It was generally positive, but wasn't like stunning. And I do like the graphics design. I love how it looks, but I do think that maybe there's too many mechanisms doing too many different things, and that may kind of take away from the game somewhat. So that's Bitoku. Number 4 is Azul Queen's Garden. So this is the yearly Azul release. I actually was a big fan of Summer Pavilion. I thought that game was really well done, and if I didn't already own Azul, I would probably get Summer Pavilion. So this one looks like they're going after a heavier game from Azul. The tiles look really nice with the symbols and the colors and stuff. That is really, I think, good looking. Although I'm not sure what's. I guess I haven't watched any reviews for this one, so I'm not sure what's going on. It does look a bit more complicated. I'm not sure I want a more complicated Azul game, but just because abstract strategies are not my favorite games by any means. I think Azul worked really well in this genre because it was kind of abstract, but it was also like tactile, and I think it was short enough where it was okay. I guess we'll see. We'll see how this ends up working out in terms of the top 100. But probably, if I was to guess, since you're releasing a new game every year, eventually people will probably stop buying your yearly board game release unless they're big fans of Azul or knew they don't have any Azul games. So there may be a limit on terms of like how many ratings this is actually going to get. So it's number 4, Azul Queen's Garden. Number 3, Arc Nova. So this is kind of interesting. I've never seen this one. Design a modern zoo to run a successful park to support conservation projects. So this is a very heavyweight game with kind of a weird mix of like realistic animals and like graphics design. I don't know. It's a pretty heavyweight game. So if you're in the 3.74, that's definitely one of the heavyweight, I would say, games. I mean, technically above 4, but this is heavyweight Euro games most likely. Let's see how the game looks. So Arc Nova. So one thing here is the card artwork I think looks okay. I don't know why they have such bland boards though. Like maybe they wanted it more like animal and dirt-ish, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. The it looks like some of the graphics design I really like, but some of it is a little bit boring. So it's got card drafting, in-game bonuses, hand management, hexagon grid, income. So it looks kind of maybe a little bit. I guess you're just designing your zoo and building it. I don't know, at 150 minutes, best at 2 players, maybe 3. It looks like no one really recommends 4 players with this game, which means it's probably really long with 4 players. Getting really good ratings though, so obviously the look of the game is not everything, as I said before. So I think it's okay graphics design. It's not like cluttered, but I think it could have maybe looked a little bit better. Like this makes me want to look at the game. Once you see the player boards and the stuff, it's like, it's okay. But this is a strong rating, so I think we're going to see it in the coming weeks, assuming this continues. And to get this many ratings in its first week out, I guess, or available probably after Essen, that's a lot. So I'm really interested to see Arc Nova. I'm gonna have to keep this one on my radar. This one could be a really good, like, heavyweight game. Number 2 is Seven Wonders Architects. So this is a kind of a spin-off of Seven Wonders. It re-implements it for, I think, faster playing. I guess, I mean, Seven Wonders was an amazing game. Seven Wonders Duel, I think, was an even more amazing game. And this is, I guess, a simpler version of Seven Wonders. I don't know. Or a different version of Seven Wonders. Yeah, I don't actually know too much about it. I think it'll probably do okay because it's, it is Seven Wonders. It plays maybe even quicker than Seven Wonders, and it's got the same central mechanisms. But I remember the reviews I've seen for it say it's probably not as good, so it makes me think that this is probably not going to end up in the top 100. So that's number 2, Seven Wonders Architects. And number 1 game this week is Radlands. So Radlands, post-apocalyptic people fight to destroy the rival tribes' camps. Kind of a medium light game. 20 to 40 minutes, 2 players. Interesting. It's got a watch it played instructional video. It probably was Kickstarter, or maybe is still Kickstarter. Must have missed it. Actually, I do think I remember this one coming out. It's too bad it's getting delivered now. So this is Daniel. I like the artwork. I mean, it's a really cool post-apocalyptic artwork on this. And it's cartoonish and kind of reminds you of like I guess what is that? Wasteland Express, maybe a little bit. Or like Rick and Morty when they go post-apocalyptic. Take That, I'm not a big fan of. So if I did see this on Kickstarter, I probably avoided it because of the Take That mechanisms. Not a huge fan of those. But it is getting some really solid ratings out of the gate. So I think we'll have to keep our eye on this. I know this year 2-player games have been very popular with the pandemic still going on. Hopefully we're at the tail end of it. I know I've said that before, but I think I'll keep my eye on this and see if it continues to do well. So that is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 10/27/2021. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.